Yes, welcome back to a brand new series of Upping The Ante with thanks to our sponsors Bet365 with David Jennings and Johnny Dineen. Counting down to the 2026 Cheltenham Festival. Yes, Upping The Ante is back, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave your comments. We want to hear from you. It's an interactive show. We want to hear your thoughts and you can have your say. Johnny, you're back.
That's it, yeah. Last throw of the dice for me, yeah.
Oh, this is it?
This is definitely it.
Oh, that was emphatic.
Yeah, it is. No, this is it.
So are you telling viewers then they better enjoy you while you're here?
No, join me all you like if they want. I couldn't care less. But listen, no, 4 years, this is the fourth year, and I didn't expect it to last this long. And like, nothing lasts forever. So I've not that I'm sick of it or anything, but it's just, I have enough of it at the same time, you know, kind of.
So this is it.
This definitely is.
This is it.
Yeah.
How have you been since we've seen you last, Johnny?
Good. Yeah, not bad at all. Overall, financially only okay, but up and down. You know, we're looking at a good old summer and all that. Not too bad now. You mean?
And I know since we saw you last, of course, just after the Cheltenham Festival, you lost your father, unfortunately. What a great man he was.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, look, there's two of my parents gone in the last year and a half. So, look, you don't really realise how much you missed your parents until they're gone. You know what I mean? That kind of way. So, but he had a good innings, good age, and he didn't do very little suffering in the space of like 86 years or whatever. So he very little suffering. Last couple of days, that's about it. And so he'd have to be happy overall. We were happy either.
And he reared a great one, didn't he?
I should know about that now.
Yeah, your sister's lovely. There we go, let's get on with the show. So you know the drill by now. We usually kick off with Johnny's week in review. So for this week, it's going to be Johnny's kind of summer in review. Since we saw you last, we touched on it in the introduction there. You're standing still, you're not moving.
No, not at the moment. I've got a turn off of the summer jumps this year, actually, both in England and Ireland. Hard to back winners in the summer jumps now. Like the flats are always difficult anyway because you have smaller margins and that, but I found the summer jumps difficult this year. And you know, in summer jumps in Ireland too, you had these meetings where inexperienced riders could ride them. That makes it even more difficult. And you're dealing with trainers that are having like 8 and 10 winners a year and putting your faith in them. I just found the summer jumps difficult. Flat, I can handle the flat even though I don't bet that much in it. But I think it's probably easier now. The good flat is better than the summer jumps. Okay.
And was there a particularly good meeting for you? I know, obviously, we had big meetings during the summer. You had a very good Champions Day at Ascot. You were very keen to lay field of gold.
Yeah, I had a good day that day. I had a bad Galway. I know that much. I had a bad Galway. And
very bad.
Yeah, pretty horrific Galway, yeah. And I had a reasonably good Listowel, but that was like most punters are in that boat. I'd say a lot of punters lost their dough in Galway, but I'd say Listowel was good for punters this year. Okay. It was fairly favourable, a lot more favourable than normal anyway.
And more recently then, Johnny, in the last week, how have you done?
I had a stinker day altogether there about 10 days ago on a Saturday.
Oh, yeah. You did tell me it was one of the worst punting days of your life.
It was one of the, in modern day anyway, it was, yeah.
Modern day history.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Maybe before when we were betting a bit bigger, it would have had worse days, but definitely in the last 18 months, it was the worst day I had in a long time. But I have poached back since, in gradually now, you know what I mean? Which isn't the really way you should be playing, really, because you should be able to win in one day what you lose in 2 or 3. No, I'm gone the other way now. I need to, if I have a bad day, it takes me 5 days to get it back, you know?
Okay. But overall, you're standing still, but you're in front for the year.
I'm okay, yeah. Happy enough, yeah.
There we go. That's Johnny's summer in review. So, Johnny, it's safer gambling week this week. Any advice for our Upping The Ante viewers?
Sure, look, I suppose if you can put a limit on what you're going to lose in a day, it's always important. Even if I'm having a bad day, I always have a quota on it, like that you shouldn't really go over that quota. Now, if you have a few bets done earlier on the day, you can't really help that, but you should keep an eye on what you're doing. But I always think if you're taking it, if it's a pastime, you should bet small then, because you're not expecting to win if it's only a pastime. I don't think anyone really expects to win if they only watch it of a Saturday. Really, it's not that easy a game to just join in one day a week and expect to win. You know what I mean? So I think you get the same enjoyment out of it betting small money as you would bigger money. So if you're treating it as a pastime, and most people do, I think you should be better off betting than handy units, to be honest.
There you go. That's Johnny's advice for safer gambling week. So let's get stuck into Ask Us Anything, where you get to have your say and you can ask us anything. And the first question this week comes in from a friend of the show, Ciara McAvoy. Of course, Ciara and Shane from Laois, big friends of the show, Johnny. Apparently now, I heard a vicious rumour that Ciara only watches the show because she fancies one of us.
Well, I'd say I can assure Shane she's fairly safe with me. You're joking me, or I don't even know.
I think, Johnny, if she does...
must be you. You're more of an Adonis.
I'm more aesthetically pleasing, am I?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I think Shane, if she does fancy one of us, I think Shane is in big trouble, isn't he?
Well, all I could do is look in the window now at this stage.
But anyway, Ciara wants to know, even Johnny Dineen can admit that Paul Nicholls has got the new star of jump racing in No Drama This End, who Ciara says is the new Denman. Is No Drama This End the new star of jump racing for Paul Nicholls?
Look, he's a goodish horse. Of course he is. He's a goodish horse, but he's miles away from Denman at the minute anyway, surely. You know what I mean?
He's already made the comparison, Paul has. He said this is the best one he's had basically since Denman.
Yeah, that's like about a week before he told us Khalif de Burley was the best 2-miler he ever had. You know what I mean? So look, these fellas they have to talk up horses, I suppose, at times. Look,
he's good though, Johnny. This horse.
He's a goodish horse, but like goodish horse, yeah. He still has to go. First of all, he has to win the race in Newbury. What's that called again?
The Challow
Hurdle. And even if he comes out on the right side of that, no, he still has to take care of horses like Stars and Sober Glory. Them kind of horses to be against him. Idaho Sun is another good horse. Plus, Skelton is going to produce a horse for that race. Of course, he is. Ran a nice horse yesterday. Harry Lowe.
Exeter,
yeah, could be decent. Like put it this way, he won a bumper in Warwick. Okay, he won it well. Then he went to the Cheltenham bumper. Wasn't.
No, fun. He ran well.
He ran okay with 9th, like at the same time.
Yeah, he ran well.
He ran okay, but like there's 8 horses beat him at the same time. You know
yeah, but Denman wouldn't have won a champion bumper, like.
No, maybe not. But then he went the last day and he beat Heads Up, who was on the wrong ground and the whole way around and ran 2 free.
Yeah, hammered him though.
And he did, and like King's Bucks was third in this. It's a maiden hurdler, an Irish maiden hurdler, third in that race. Like that wouldn't bear any relation to a Sunny Lines hurdle or whatever you call it nowadays.
Turner's
hurdle.
Big friends of the show, Turner's.
Yeah, but like he's a long way to go to being anything like a Denman, in my opinion. Anyway, like
could he win the Sunny Lines hurdle in old money or the Turner's as it is now?
Yeah, I doubt it. I doubt it very much. Like what price is he roughly?
10 or 12s, yeah.
I wouldn't back him at 40s anyway, to be honest. I wouldn't, genuinely.
Well, I'll have a 5 or a 40s with you.
Well, you can if you like, but he won't win it anyway. He won't.
5 or 40 to 1, no drama.
Look, he's a good horse. Of course he's a good horse, but he's a long way to go to be up to that level. Like, Mullins is going to have, like, 4 or 5 good horses in that division, isn't he? Of course he is. Look, has to, first of all, he's got to win the Cheltenham Hurdle, as I said, and then he's got to be comfortably the best horse in England as well to go and have a chance of winning something like that, and that's a long way away just yet. And I don't think his form lines suggest like Heads Up. What price would Heads Up be in a race like that?
33.
No chance, like absolutely none.
Okay.
Like and Heads Up did a lot wrong against him as well. Like he gave him a present in the race really because he, first of all, on top of being too keen, he definitely ran in the wrong ground as well. So, and like as I said, King's Bucks was third. It's like he's a maiden hurdler. Like if he ran in a maiden hurdle over here, he mightn't even win one. Like the next time he runs, if he made a good Mullins horse. Look, what's he called again? No, not Hanston's.
No drama. No,
he's a good horse, all right. But
you remember that name, Johnny?
He's a long way to go yet.
Okay. I think that's why Ciara fancies you know that? It's for making statements like that. He wouldn't back him at 40 to 1, no drama this end. So, Paul, if you're watching, and of course you are, Johnny doesn't think you've got the next Denman, but I think maybe not Denman, but I think he's a very good horse.
He's a good horse, but it's like how good is the question. Like we've been down this road before with Potter's Charms and them. Because every year, this time of the year, there's a flashy English horse. And by the time they come around to Cheltenham, they're not even contenders.
Okay, we shall see. Next step, the Shallow. Next up this week is Stuart Acaster, and Stuart says final demand is now as short as 6-4 for the Brown Advisory Novices Chase at Cheltenham. Johnny, he says, is this the final sign of how ridiculous Ante-Post betting has become, or is it buying money barring injury?
Look, he's around, say 7-4 to lay on the exchanges roughly. Like I see fellas saying, oh, he's Mugg's price at 6-4 or 7-4 and all this kind of stuff. I wouldn't like to be laying him at 7-4 anyway, to be honest. No, and I'd say I back him either. He is short. But what price do you expect him to be? You know what I mean? That's the way I think.
Well, when we did the big jump off, you made a good point that it could be a kind of a Monkfish type price for the Brown Advisory.
Well, the way I'd look at it this time of year, if you want to back him at say 7-4, okay, just say that's not a lot of difference from 6-4 anyway. Like I hear people saying, oh, it's crazy price and Ante-Post has gone and all this stuff. The way I look at it anyway, can you see him being a third of that price when he turns up on the day, right? So 7-4 equates to 7-12. That's 4-7 roughly anyway, right?
That's good maths, Johnny.
So can you see him being 4-7 or shorter on the day in the Brown advisory?
Yes.
I can.
I can too, yeah.
Well, I would make a statement anyway that he's a certainty to be shorter than 4-7 if he gets there.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's the world's worst price at 7-4 to actually win it now.
What do you make of his jumping?
Sublime. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I just think he was bomb-proof, and like there'll be nothing want to even take him on, will there? Like he's going to be the Mullins number one, isn't he? Assuming he stays right. So that's stable out of the way. Like there's only about 4 or 5 stables have any chance of producing a horse that can actually beat him. So I can see why he's 7-4 or even less to win that race. Personally, I wouldn't like. No, I'm not saying I want to back him either, but I wouldn't like to lay him at 7-4 right now.
Yeah, it's jumping. He was so straight as well, wasn't it? Every fence was just
absolutely,
real accurate,
Look, that's the way my little like equation for working out stuff is around this time of the year. Like if you're backing something, the 10-1 can see him being 130 or less. You know, in that kind of way. And if you can't, I wouldn't back him. Can I see this being 4-7? I can, very much so. Like Ballyburn was 4-7 in the race last year. When you look at it that way, and this is a much more solid proposition than him, in my opinion.
There you go, Stuart. It's buying money, barring injury. Aaron Cash, you're next. Is my Daddy Paddy just a hype horse, Johnny Dineen, or is he actually the real deal?
It's hard to say. At the back of one run, it's not that easy to quantify some of these horses that get like.
Well, as Roy Keane would say, that's your job, Johnny.
Yeah,
that's why you're here to answer these questions.
He'd look short enough at 7-1 because Mullins hasn't really raised his head yet, you know. And there's going to be French horses come on stream that we've never even heard of.
Yeah.
I assume there's going to be like they're given 5 and 6 and 100,000 for these French horses. They have to run somewhere, like, so they have to appear. Like Skelton is given big money for horses, so is Moody Mullins, obviously, so is Gordon Elliott. There's Point to Point is coming. There's loads of different horses that could come on and upset a horse like My Paddy Daddy. Like it's different to in a race like the Sun Brown Advisory. Them horses aren't there. You know what I mean? They're not there. There's nothing going to come out from France that's going to contest a 3-mile novice chase, is there? Whereas there could be any number of horses contest a race like this, the Supreme Novices Hurdle. He's no doubt he's a good horse. How good, it's hard to say. I mean, he did win well. The bumper he won, and he won a no race in Carlisle. He didn't but he did jump really good, really quick. I'd like him now. He's definitely a smart horse. I'd say he's probably the best English horse that we've seen so far. But will that be enough when the time comes now? But Skelton look like an outfit that are raising their game. Like and if there's someone English trainer to trouble Mullins now, it's nearly him.
Were you more impressed with My Daddy Paddy or No Drama This End?
I was impressed with both of them, and No Drama This End won a deeper race, to be fair. Like my Paddy Daddy only beat one horse, Harbour Island.
I think it's My Daddy Paddy.
My Paddy Daddy or My Daddy Paddy?
I think it's My Daddy Paddy.
Yeah, whatever. You get the gist of it, whatever his name is. But he did win a deeper race. You'd have to say that. He won a grade 2, whereas the other one won a no race maiden hurdle. But both of them were impressive, both slick jumpers and that. They're like different distance horses, I'd say. That's going to be 2.5 mile, whereas your man looks at 2 mile with a lot of pace. I loved his jumping down My Paddy Daddy at the same time. He's really slick.
Daddy Paddy.
Yeah, whatever. But even at the last hurdle, he was really low and fast. Look, he's a very good horse. He'll probably go to the race in the Booby, is it? In Booby or something like that?
Booby!
What do you call that race?
The Formby.
Formby, yeah. Formby.
And St. Stephen's Day.
Yeah, in Aintree, yeah.
The Booby.
The
Booby hurdle.
It's Formby, yeah. He'll go there, I presume, and like if he
in your mind anyway, Johnny.
If he comes out on the right side of that, then you could be talking about him as a genuine supreme horse. But like at 7-1, it look a bit in the tight side to me now. But I'm not saying he's not a good horse now. No way.
What's his name?
My Daddy Paddy.
Yes. Well done. There you go. My Daddy Paddy could be a supreme contender, but we'll find out in the Booby Novice Hurdle over Christmas at Aintree. The Booby. And last, but by no means least, it's Denise Johnson. And Denise wants to know, after the superb start to the season by Dan Skelton, is 2026 finally the year where Britain have more winners than Ireland at the Cheltenham Festival, Johnny?
I know, you definitely Skelton is starting to become a real force for sure.
Quality as well, isn't it? The match to quantity.
They were at the sales yesterday. Some Lily something, never heard of the woman in my life, gave 1.3 million for horses, 2 horses from France. So they have real spending power now. All of a sudden is right. Not all of a sudden, I suppose, but they are getting a real quality type of horse, and they can train him too.
He's obviously a good trainer.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. But I'd say it'll take another 3 or 4 years before the wheel turns, I think myself. It won't turn that quick at the same time. You know, like, how many winners can he train? Can he, like,
He did 5 2 years ago, didn't he? Was it 4 or 5?
I'm not even sure. But, like, would you back Mullins to have twice as many winners as Skelton? I would, anyway. Maybe 3 times even. Do you know?
3 times a lot now.
Yeah, but Mullins probably have 9 or 10. Skelton have to have 3 then, you know?
Yeah,
so,
maybe, yeah.
Like, I don't know, look, obviously they're a force, and like, Pauling is a fella coming with good horses too. And it's like you obviously have Henderson and maybe Hobbs. There's some very good trainers in England, but
Paul Nichols as well, Johnny.
Yeah, absolutely. But will they get to, like, what do they need? 14 winners?
14, yeah.
And not a prayer, not a hope.
That's the draw.
Yeah, that's the draw. Look, no, that's not up for that's really not up for discussion just yet. That actually getting to as many winners as Ireland, but they may narrow the gap a bit. All right, but what was it last year? 18-10, no?
I think so, yeah.
Was it? Yeah. Like, I don't see a seismic change myself now this year. But the wheel might be turning a small bit. It might be, yeah. But it'll take 3 to 4 years, I'd say, before there's any kind of a noticeable change, I would have thought.
Okay, there you go. So not quite yet, Denise. 2026 won't be the year, but they're getting there. It's start of the week time here on Up in the Ante, where Johnny Dineen counts down his top 3 performances from the last 7 days. So number 3, Johnny. Number
3, I went with Lud the Sud. He impressed me a lot in that slow race on Friday. He did it really well, and he showed last year he kind of his form tapered off a small, but at the end he did put in a tame finish in the Arkle, to be fair. Like, to jump the last, I think he was in front and not be the first 3. It was a weak enough attempt, like, really up the hill. And maybe he was probably gone over the top of the entry, but I suppose there is a temptation to keep going and running once more in the entry, and he didn't run well there. But his early season form was good, and a lot of his form seemed to be with a good bit of slower ground as well. He seems to be a pretty soft ground horse. Now, Skelton, I heard an interview afterwards where, I'm not joking you, I'm listening to interviews and I tell you, they are like absolutely gold, in my opinion. Like, fellas, you've been about fellas going to the races. I hear stuff at home, like everybody does, that you wouldn't hear at the race if you were there in a million years. You know what I mean? Like, I was listening to Paul Nichols yesterday, and he came on and said some horse, Skelton or Harry Cobden was riding it, and he said that he likes to get things his own way, and if he didn't get his own way, he wouldn't like it. You know what I mean? And he didn't get his own way, and you could lay him and running it 4-1. The horse like spat out the dummy. He more or less told you that if he didn't get his own way, he wouldn't win, and he didn't. You know, but Skelton did it. I heard him saying after the race on Lud the Sud that
Kingmaker shouldn't have ran him at Warwick.
No, he's going for the Tingle Creek.
Yeah,
but he won't be any fitter. He said. Yeah. He said, my job is to get him there as good as he was today. He won't strip any fitter. He was fit, like, we must have been like a butcher's dog in Cheltenham. Yeah, sorry, Galway says yeah. But so he may not be any fitter, but even like that kind of performance puts him bang there in the Tingle Creek. I'd say no. I thought he was very impressive. No, like John Bond.
What about John Bond?
John Bond is a horse that likes his own way, in my opinion. And if
he's doing some sulking these days, isn't he?
But if he doesn't get his own way, the minute something took him on, you would want to be on him, I thought.
And it was clever from Harry Skelton, didn't he? It was real bullying, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I mean,
once he made a little bit of a mistake, he went by him at the next fence, and he was like, right, I'm nailing you now.
Yeah. I mean, he looks like a horse it's a great horse on his day, and everything's going according to plan. But if he gets it put up him at all, he doesn't seem to be the same horse. It
was like you when you used to play a bit of football, Johnny. If you were marked tightly, you were gone.
Useless, yeah, absolutely useless, yeah. I'd give your man the ball, yeah. Here, if you wanted that badly. There's no need to be belting me.
Yeah, he's a bit of a... Would you ever back John Bond again?
No, I wouldn't. I would not, no. If the kind of level that he'll be playing at now, I'd back him no more, no.
Okay, so Lud the Sud is Johnny's number 3. Number 2?
Number 2, I went with the Lamba. Yesterday, I thought the Lamba was hugely impressive. I heard some for this, like, maybe throwing a bit of cold water on him. I thought he did everything right. I mean, the one thing about the Lamba, as opposed to all these other flashy novice chasers, was that he did it from behind. I like horses that do it from behind. And the other horses kind of controlled the race from the front. Even though he was in third, you knew he was controlling it from third place. You know, kind of way?
Hold on here a second. You like horses who do it from behind?
No,
you spent the last 4 years telling us you like horses out in front.
I do in ordinary races. But like when it comes to the crunch, not everything, to the big races, right. I like a horse that can actually come from behind because he probably won't get his own way. But in like if you back a horse like Final Demand or Upping The Board or them kind of horses, you want them away and gone and away from the trouble. If you're betting 5-2 on and 3-1 on, you do anyway. But obviously at some stage, they're going to have to fight their corner a bit, and they're not going to get a bit like John Bond. When he's asked to fight his corner, he don't want to know, as far as I can see. So this horse was in behind, but I thought he won with his mouth open. To be honest, I thought he was very impressive. And even when he was nudging, he was only just nudging him away, wasn't he? He was only using
the low lying sun didn't help us watching it, didn't it? No?
What?
The sun in your eyes watching it at the last.
Yeah,
on the telly, it was just hard visually to see.
You're right, yeah. But I just thought he did everything right. I was very impressed with him anyway. I thought he put up his jumping was accurate. It might be a bit high, but I'd rather high than low. He's one horse you'd say on the back of that, you couldn't ever see him falling, could you? I couldn't anyway.
Yeah, okay. So were you more impressed with Lulamba or Upping The Board?
There wasn't a lot in it now. There were two special efforts, I thought, now, to be honest.
And number one, the performance of the week in our very first episode in the new series of Upping The Ante is?
I just went with Final Demand. I know he got it easy and he did it, but he was precise, he was accurate, straight, and he finished really strong, and you just looked like you were witnessing something special, really, to be honest. He looked like a horse that, he could be Gold Cup horse even this year if that's not going to happen.
Yeah, but you're right though.
Yeah, he could do anything, and
I think he's 7-1 to win the 2027 Gold Cup.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't like to be laying that for too much either, would you?
I know, but it's a long way away, Johnny.
Oh, I know it is, yeah, of course. And horses, they do get broken up and injured and all that, but look, you look like, put this way, I'd hate to be looking for the horse that's going to beat him.
Yeah.
That's another thing about the 6-4. I had a look at the list for the Ante-Post list for this Brown Advisory. There is not one horse on that list that you'd be afraid of if you were backing him anyway. Do you know what I mean? Okay. Whereas you couldn't say the same about other horses in other divisions. You'd be saying well, he's a chance. There's no horse in that list I could find that you'd say would be anywhere even challenging for as in the market, even in a race,
I was at Navan on Sunday, and when Paul Townend hopped off Final Demand, I was right beside him, and I walked in, and he was honestly, you want to see the smile on his face, and he just said, dynamite, he said. Yeah. He just was it was like a dream to ride this horse, he reckoned,
Yeah. Actually, somebody showed me a video of him actually smiling
on the running.
On the running, yeah. But no, I look, and so, 6-4 course is a stupid price, really, I suppose, really. But
it's a stupid price, but it's not stupid.
Yeah, that's the best I can see why it is 6-4 and 7-4 at the same time. I wouldn't like to be laying it anyway, to be honest.
There we go. Johnny Dineen's first star of the week in the new series. It's Final Demand. Now let's find out this eye catcher. Yes, it's time for one for the Racing Post tracker. The one horse that's ran recently, Johnny, that Upping The Ante viewers have got to put in to the Racing Post tracker is?
Yeah, there was a lot of horses actually that you could put in here. There was quite a lot in maiden hurdles and that. There was plenty of horses. Even yesterday, Fingal Bridge ran well, didn't he? Behind Lulamba. But I just put in a horse in a handicap. I thought it ran really well. A horse called Kim Rock. Joseph O'Brien, they got it out of France. Ronnie Bartlett. Beautiful colours, aren't they, Ronnie Bartlett's?
Yeah.
They are. They, when you see them, they do just look good horse.
Ballyburn.
Yeah, and Simon Sig and them kind of.
Sig,
yeah. But they're just classy colours, the white with the red hat and the diamonds in the middle. But Galvin is another one. Yeah, exactly. But I think he was running off 1-2-2 the other day in a handicap chase. Travelled beautiful, jumped like a stag, absolute stag. His jumping was unbelievable. And just they were coming to the last, he kind of got interfered with.
There was two fallers at the last, wasn't there?
No, there was one fell, and he did a pecked on his nose. He went down, and his nose hit the ground, and he lost all chance because he switched them out, and then he went for a big jump, but he didn't peck at the back of it. Now, he probably wouldn't have won anyway, but he might have just fizzled out a bit on the running maybe or whatever. But I don't think he was even second afterwards. But he'd like a horse with a bit of class, and I'd say he's a horse that could go down and trip, and even I'd say even better ground wouldn't be no harm to him either. That kind of way. I'd say he's definitely capable of winning a good handicap chase.
Give us his name again.
Kim Roque.
Kim Roque is Johnny Dineen's one for the Racing Post tracker. Now, Upping The Ante viewers, are you a Racing Post Plus subscriber? If you're not, shame on you because you're missing out on so much. Here's what you're missing out on. So let's hear Johnny's never ordinary moment. The one time in the last week, Johnny, where you went, wow.
Yeah, I think Kopek, the board from the back of the last.
So we must say the terms and conditions to Johnny's Star of the Week. You did them before Kopek the board ran.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So just people will be going, what? He
pro-
wasn't in the top three, but he's his never ordinary moment.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, he did a few little things kind of half haywire up to that point.
Did
anyway.
you think so?
I was a bit keen.
So what's a never ordinary moment? The jump at the last?
No, the jump and the amount of distance he put between him and Lovely Hurling without even like being ridden. You know what I mean? Like I think he put 13 lengths at the line. Now I know the other horse won 13 lengths as well. I think Final Le Mans, they both won 13 lengths, but he wasn't even like, neither of them were moving, but they were both accelerating away at the same time.
And I'd say not even 3/4 fit either.
Probably at this stage in the season that you wouldn't expect him to be piping fit or anything like that. But I thought he was visually very impressive. He just may well be a horse that likes things his own way, and you would be small bit if there is a bit of a query about him in the helter skelter of a race, like would his jumping stand up maybe or whatever, you know what I mean, that kind of way. But you'd have to like what he did. I thought he was very, very impressive.
And I know he was spectacular at the last, but there was a few fences down the back where he had to use his feet and sort his feet. And I thought he was clever at getting in close.
No, he was good. Yeah, I thought he was good overall. I mean, I'm not a fan of horses with hoods. I hate the hoods on horses, and like invariably there's always a kink in a horse with a hood on. But he seems to manage okay, and he's a lot of ability that can maybe get rid of the hood, or like dispel having the hood on or whatever. Like, but he is a very, very good horse, no doubt about it. He's done. Anybody could tell you that follows horses knows that already. But he is a horse that going forward, he's going to be difficult to beat, like him and Lulan. But it would be hard to say for certain who you'd like. Probably.
Would you put Romeo Coolio in the mix there, Tom? No.
Well, Romeo Coolio has, to my eyes, has too much ground to make up from being a hurdler. You know, that kind of way. But Romeo Coolio was very impressive in the north. Very impressive. Of course he was. But it's so hard to quantify horses when they get solos, easy races, to how good they are really. But like, if Kopek the board ran against Romeo Coolio at Christmas in Leopardstown,
in the Racing Post Novice Chase,
yeah,
Johnny,
that's going to be a good race. And July Flower in them.
Who'll ride Kopek the board? Because Townend is going to be going over to win the King George and Gaelic Warrior. So,
but Patrick Mullins might ride Gaelic Warrior, would he? He's ridden them before.
But your Townend, will Townend not want to win the King George?
He won it before, didn't he?
And Lassie Mate will probably run there as well.
Oh yeah, well Lassie Mode, that would seal it, I'd say. If Lassie Mode goes to Kempton, well, he'd probably go there all right then.
I think Gaelic, if he's going Gaelic Warrior in the King George.
Well, I suppose, I don't know who'll ride Kopek the board in. I suppose, who knows?
Patrick or Danny, I suppose.
Maybe so, yeah. Yeah, look, that'll be an interesting race. That'll be an interesting clash, actually, Romeo. But I always kind of think that if they're better than them over hurdles, they'll be better than them over fences. That's usually what happens. Now, you could draw like horses from different eras that were much better over fences, but invariably that's what happens. And he has a good bit of ground to make up Romeo Coolio and them. And even though he's a very smart horse, there's a touch of Firefox about him, isn't there? A kind of.
Yeah, I can see the resemblance. Yeah, you just hope he's a bit better than them, though.
Yeah.
Like, he was a very good pointer who they've taught the world of for a while, but he's just probably lacking the wow factor of it.
Maybe so, but like, he's a very smart horse at the same time. It'll be an interesting race now at Christmas, but I like Kopek the board, to me, you can't back against him anyway.
Okay, there you go. Johnny Dineen's never ordinary moment. It was Kopek the board from the last to the line. So let's have your first serving of Johnny's midweek treat. You did really well with this last year.
Did I? Yeah, I can't remember
there wasn't any 66-1 shots around.
No, there won't be.
You did well.
I'd imagine
like
that,
I think you got just over half, or maybe in around half.
Whatever.
So that's.
Yeah.
So what are you kicking it off?
I'm
going
to try one tomorrow night in Dundalk, 5:25.
Oh, be the Lord Lamb.
Yeah,
Jesus. Dundalk.
It's a mile and a half maiden ordinary race now, real poor contest.
That's where you do some of your best stuff, Johnny.
Well, I like betting in them kind of races. Anyway, Lily Parr I'm going to chance against Matrice. I think it's a bank 2-horse race, and look, she might be worth a stab. Like, if she's enough, I don't know what price she'll be, but if she was like 7-2, I'd back her each way. You know what I mean? That kind of way, you'd get a lot of your money back. But if she's less than that, you probably have to back her.
Sheila Lavery and Robbie Colgan teaming up.
Yeah, like Matrice is a very middle animal, but it's the only danger at the same time. I think it has about £6 in hand of Lily Parr. But Lily Parr there's been money for it the last 2 days. It was back from 12s to 5s in a handicap in Killarney, and then it was back from like 40 to 16 in a race, finished 4th to switch from Diesel in the Curragh.
Oh, wow.
That run will nearly win here, I think, you know.
Okay.
And like Matrice, okay, it's consistent, but it is limited, and got beaten some more too at the same time. Has run there the other day, finished second again. Like, finds it hard to get, but I do think it's a dead match at the same time, and I'm just going to take a stab with Lily Parr.
There we go. Lily Parr in the 5:25.
Navan, yeah, mile and a half maiden, yeah.
Dundalk.
Dundalk.
Dundalk. There we go. Lily Parr, 5:25 Dundalk on Wednesday is Johnny's first midweek treat of the new series. So then, folks, let's find out what's happening this week. And we kick off our weekend preview with Ascot, and it's the Ladbrokes 1965 Chase, a Grade 2, and it's a proper Grade 2.
Yeah, it's a good race, real good race actually, if they all show. But I'd say there's some of them have other options, don't they? The Jukebox Man, I think, is going to Haydock.
Yeah, bloody graduation chases.
Yeah, whatever. But still, it's a good race. Like, you've the likes of Pictory, you have
Ile Francais,
Gidley Park, Hartwood is in it, Firefox is in it. So, like, if they turn up, that's the makings of a real hot race. I didn't have a huge opinion. If you force me, I think I'd go with Pictory, just the fact that he has good Ascot form and he has a run into Charlie Hall behind him.
It's a hard race in the Charlie Hall.
I suppose he did, yeah. No, look, I wouldn't be confident or anything like it, but if I had to pick one right now, it'd be Pictory. But it's a tricky race.
I love winning this. Yeah, I'm a massive Gidley Park fan. I know you liked him as a novice hurdler, and he just didn't really scale the heights you expected, but I just thought for him to do what he did at Aintree last year in the Grade 1 and what was basically a second start of the season after beating Caldwell Potter at Windsor, I thought was a hell of a performance. I think he's a big beast of a horse. I think he's the real deal. I could see him winning a Grade 1 at some stage this season. I think it's a nice starting point for him. Nice trip around Ascot. I think when you look at him and everything about him, he's a gorgeous stamp of a horse, and he's very fragile, but if he can keep right, and the vibes seem to be pretty good, he's definitely a Ryanair contender. I think he's a really good horse, and I think he'll win this.
Yeah, look, maybe I think Django Boy is in this race,
Yes.
as well, isn't he? The one thing I'd say against Gidley Park is, like, when they have those defibrillating hearts, them things, there's always things to be in the back of your mind.
Oh,
you know?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
You know, so like, I find it hard to back them kind of horses as they go on in their careers. Now, when there's something like that happens, now some of them can overcome it, and some of them it comes and goes, and all. They can run the odd bad racing, but they can run plenty good races. But look, I wouldn't dismiss them now. Definitely not.
Okay, Gidley Park for me in that. We're going to move across to Haydock for the first race we're going to look at is the Betfair Stayers Hurdle. Plenty of prize money up for grabs.
Yeah,
like anything here?
Big pot. Look, I suppose Marchand 2 went up £6 for winning in Cheltenham. It won well, and it was a good novice horse too. I still think it's probably a bit more in it. I could see it carrying that penalty. It beat Electric Maze, and there's a few nice horses in this race too. I think Shoot First is the top weight. Is it 11 stone 12? But I think your man is in around 11.6 or so, in around that anyway. And he's the horse to beat. Now, whether I want to back him now is another thing. Exactly, like, that wouldn't be my kind of race. A big field handicap.
You prefer the old two horse race at Dundalk?
Yeah, well, or whatever, a 2 horse race anywhere really, rather than a 1500 competitive handicap hurdle. But this is a good race. But again, he could be, like, he's Electric Mason really opposes him. He has a bit of a chance too. But Marchand 2 might be good enough to carry the penalty.
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to one that was third in the race last year, Phantom of the Points for David Pipe and Jack Tudor. Ran really well in the race last year and still looks to me to be a well handicapped horse. I think a track like Haydock for a horse like him actually does suit him. So I think Phantom of the Points at a big price could potentially run well. We're over at Punchestown for the Morgiana. We filmed the show before the 5-day forfeits come out, Johnny, but it'll be interesting to see what Willie does.
Yeah, he looks to have a big stranglehold in the race, and isn't he? Likes of Enzadam, Arency, Lassie Moore, I presume, won't turn up with it. You'd imagine that'll go for the Hatton's race. So it's just say, like, without knowing the runners, you'd probably boil down to Enzadam against Arency. And I'd say Enzadam has, at the minute, it looks slightly...
You're an Enzadam fan, aren't you?
Yeah, but apparently he's hard horse to keep right, apparently now, you know, which is a worry for anyone backing him Ante-Post. I would have backed him Ante-Post. He was 12-1 before Stateman came out. He's only about 7-1 now. Like, he still has the same legs as he had before Stateman came out. You know what I mean? Yeah. The value is half the price now. I wouldn't have been worried about Stateman anyway. So I left him go then. You know, you couldn't back him now at 7-1. But like, he's a horse, I'd say that if you're on, you'd be keeping an eye on the paper every day, like the 3 weeks before Cheltenham. You know what I mean? You wouldn't like to see his name come up.
Johnny. Buy the Racing Post. Keep an eye.
Yeah, whatever. But he's obviously a tricky horse to train. But I'd say a lot of ability. I'd fancy him, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. That is Anzadam. I'd have to agree. He looks like he could potentially be top class. And we've got a Grade 2, another Grade 2 at Ascot, the Ascot Hurdle. We could see Wodo, who won the Martin Pipe last season for Gordon Elliott. Is she a Mayor's Hurdle candidate?
Mayor's Hurdle candidate, for sure if Lassie Moat doesn't run, yeah, absolutely. Like at the minute, she'd probably be, if you thought Lassie Moat wouldn't run, she'd probably be the favourite, wouldn't
she ran a cracker at Aintree, didn't she?
She did, yeah, she did. Yeah, though she's very likeable mare and like proving all the time and won that Martin Pipe well as well. So, she's very dangerous in the race. But it's all, the Mayor's Hurdle really boils down to whether Lassie Moat's going to show there or not. I suspect she will, to be honest. I'd say she'll go.
And will Woodhouse win this?
It's a good chance, but it's a tricky race now. It is. It's not that. I thought Nemean Line had a bit of a chance, but Woodhouse is, it's absolutely dangerous. Of course it is. But if I was forced to pick one, again, I don't know what's going to turn up at the minute. But Nemean Line was the one. Its only bad run last year was in the Stairs Hurdle. Probably didn't get the trip, but it's a very effective horse at 2.5 miles. But it has a good chance of beating Woodhouse maybe. But they're probably the two you'd concentrate on.
Okay, and the feature race of the weekend, of course, it is the first Grade 1 of the new season in Britain. It is the Betfair Chase. It's not a great race, is it?
No, but whatever beats Grey Dawning will win it at the same time. I thought it was fair enough at 6 or 7 to 4. Is he around that price? Yeah. Like he's £12 in hand in high ET colours, which is a lot. It's a lot for a horse to make up £12 on official ratings. And on top of that, Grey Dawning to me is a classy 3-miler, whereas High ET Colours is nearly a 3.5 mile horse. And around this tight little track here, High ET Colours has one bad run in its car too. It's beaten 40 lengths by now as they are in Haydock and hurdle race. Like I'd say this wouldn't be. A lot of its form is in like Chepstow, Cheltenham, Fairhouse, big wide open places. This place won't suit High ET Colours at all. I think that'll struggle here.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, that's all the more reason you'd fancy Grey Dawning, I think.
And the thing about Grey Dawning, Skelton is red hot.
Yeah.
Skelton is a terrific target trainer. This has been Grey Dawning's aim for 6 months, right?
Yeah.
He was second in the race last year when really he should have won it. Do you
Yes.
remember the mistake at the last and Royal Pagay beat him? And it's a poor race. So when you put all these together, you're kind of going, God, he nearly has to win, doesn't he?
Well, I thought he'd win now, and Royal Pagay, I don't fancy that. And Handstands, okay, he's a nice horse, Handstands, but like he's put his toe in the real deep end twice, in the Ballymore against Ballyburn, nowhere couldn't be found, and in that race in Aintree, that Grade 1 in Aintree, and again he couldn't be found. You know what I mean? He's won. Okay, he beat Django Boy in the City Isles or whatever that race is, one of the novice chases. That's his best run, in fact. But he's probably, this is a small field, I suppose. But I wonder, is he the class of these kind of horses? I suspect he's not.
So it's Grey Dawning for you?
I would think so, yeah.
And it's Grey Dawning for me as well. And we'll just have a quick look at the John Durkin on Sunday. Fact to file. Is he going to go back to back?
Look, I presume a lot of these horses come here like 75 to 80% fit because it's a long season for them. The horse I'd be interested to hear is Fast or Slow, because he's not far off these horses anyway. Plus, he's coming back from an injury. I'd say this side of Christmas is going to be his season, basically.
And he was back in earlier as well.
Yeah, I could see him being fitter than the others, and he'd be the one I'd nearly go with, I think, to win this race.
Yeah, what about Gaelic Warrior? The vibes are very good. Like, they just, you know the way sometimes with Gaelic Warrior, he's a vibe horse, isn't he? Like, remember when he ran poor at Leopardstown, the vibes were poor against Fact to File when didn't he come down at the last. Yeah. But the vibes were poor. Everything about Gaelic Warrior at the moment seems to be extremely positive, and the King George is absolutely the ultimate aim. Whereas Fact to File, it's more kind of like, we don't really know about the King George, I'd say. Whereas Gaelic Warrior appears to be at the moment the number one for the King George. Yeah. I think he could win this, Gaelic Warrior.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, I suppose, look, you couldn't rule him out. I think Gaelic Warrior is slightly an overrated horse myself.
No, he's not, Johnny.
Do you not think so?
No, he's not. No. You should look at the race he's won, like. How can you call him overrated, like?
As a chaser, as a top 3 mile chaser,
I'd won an Arkle.
Yeah, he did, but I don't think he's a Gold Cup winner, right? And like it anyway, to be honest.
I think he's better than you think.
I don't think he'll win the King George either when it comes to it.
I think he will.
Well, maybe you could be right, but listen, I don't like Grey Dawning. To me, wants slow ground, and you man collared him that day in Aintree because the ground suits him a bit more than Grey Dawning. I think Grey Dawning would beat Gaelic Warrior on soft ground, maybe, but
the real Gaelic Warrior, yeah.
Yeah,
you have to remember the way Gaelic Warrior went into Aintree. Like, he went into Aintree kind of like the season had been an absolute cluster, whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But and he came and won it, and then he backed it up at Sandown. So it seems to me that they only really got him right towards the end of the season. But the vibes at the moment seems to be that he's right. Do you remember what he did at a punches out in his chase and debut too. I know the way you're
Well, I
thinking on them
suppose
horses.
beating Ela to Thompson in Limerick was a fair effort, right? Of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course he's smart, but I don't think he's a Gold Cup horse at the same time.
And you think he's overrated?
I do slightly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're wrong.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later in the series anyway. So you're with fast or slow?
I am. A tentative vote now at the same
Okay,
time. That's
okay.
without knowing how fit these horses are.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to have an opinion if you have no clue whether they're 100%.
How fit are we?
Well, I know I'm not. My missus is trying to get me from couch to 5. You know what I think?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Couch to 5K, yeah?
Yeah.
How are you going?
I'm going from couch to bed at the moment. But I might have a go out of it at some stage now.
Would you, Johnny?
Sure, 5K is not a lot, really. Do you know what I mean?
Have you tried it?
No, but I'd manage it at the same time.
Would
But I'd
you?
manage it in my own time, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be running it now, or I'd be maybe jogging it as such, whatever. But I need to do something now.
When could that start, do you think, the couch to 5K? When could you start that?
The groups come up every now and then. I missed the last setting of it anyway, you know what I mean, the group.
Right.
But I'd say that they have me lined up for the next session.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll keep up in the anti-viewers posting on it anyway.
Right, okay.
Okay, there we go. Johnny's couch to 5K. Could be starting soon, Johnny, could it?
Well, I think it's sometime in the winter, yeah.
Okay, there we go. There we go. That's what's happening this week. Maybe Johnny's couch to 5K as well. Now it's time for DJ versus JD, our weekly charity bet competition. Now, Johnny, I love you, but you disgraced yourself at this last year.
Did I?
You did, yeah.
Did I?
You
Can't
were great,
remember
man.
now.
Yeah. You were beaten out of sight.
You won as well anyway.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
But I know, like, you've come back kind of fitter, stronger, more mentally prepared this year. So you have. What have you got for us?
I got a chance. Idaho Sun in the 125 in Ascot. It's an introductory hurdle in Ascot on Friday. So
okay.
that was a goodish race. It's not a bad contest either this year, but it has a horse called Dr. Blue. It was second to Fruit the Mare in Cheltenham. That looks its biggest danger. It's given it £5 as well, because Idaho Sun has won a race in Fontwell, whereas the other yoke was just touched off in Cheltenham.
Fortune the Mare, yeah.
Was it yeah.
Yeah, Henry de Bromwich is Fruit the Mare, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, Fortune de Mare is right, yeah. Look, Idaho Sun, he was 6th in the bumper. I always kind of like Cheltenham bumper form as such, you know what I mean? I think it's always solid. Like, they mightn't be brilliant horses, but they're always good horses at the same time. And he won well enough in Fontwell. I'd say this track,
Second horse ran well on Sunday as well.
Gaelic Pride or something,
Yeah.
yeah, it did run okay, yeah. Like, form wasn't totally let down anyway. I look, he's a good horse. He won that bumper in Windsor, which wasn't a bad contest either. And I think he beat Supreme Molinas in his bumper first time out, and that one there yesterday in Exeter. So its form is fairly solid. I like him now, and I think he wasn't overly impressive in Fontwell, but I'd say he's a better horse than that. And I'd say Ascot, this will suit him a bit better, and he's a good strong stayer. This stiff track will suit it. I'd fancy him. I'd go with Idaho Sun.
There we go, Idaho Sun for Johnny and Ascot on Friday, and I'm sticking with that stable. I love Gidley Park, and I will have 50 quid on the nose at 6-1 with Bet365 on Gidley Park for the Ascot 1965 chase on Saturday. I'm pretty sure he's a top horse, and we're going to find out on Saturday if he is or not. I know he's had his issues, but hopefully he's free of those problems, and we'll see the real Gidley Park at Ascot on Saturday. I think he could be a big player in a lot of big races this season kicking off on Saturday. So 50 quid on Gidley Park at 6-1 at Ascot on Saturday, and Johnny is with the same stable, Idaho Sun, at Ascot on Friday, and that's this week's DJ versus JD. So now it's the moment you've been waiting for. The reason they watch the show, Johnny, is to hear our Ante-Post tips for the Cheltenham Festival, and they're getting a double helping today. Not one, but two. We both have one. Now, we didn't actually even discuss this before the show today because I was late, as usual.
Okay.
Not my fault. It was a crash. Okay, but we didn't even discuss this, and I said, Johnny, have you got a tip? And he does have a tip, and I have a tip. So do you want to go first or second?
I don't mind. You go first if you like.
Okay, I'll go first then. We'll leave the best to last, okay? I am going to go for Sortudo in the Albert Bartlett Novices Hurdle for Willie Mullins at 25-1 with Bet365. Last year's bumper form was franked again by I'll Sort That in a graded race at Navan on Monday. And I just think he's the type of horse that probably won't be pacey enough for a Supreme or a Turners. And he might just be one of those forgotten horses from last season that could progress. Got a nice kind of talk up from Willie Mullins in the stable turn. Chatting to a few people in around the yard. I remember speaking to Danny Mullins about him, and he thinks he could potentially be a nice enough novice hurdler this season as well. His bumper form is really good. Really, really good. Bolted up at Fairyhouse. Ran well in the Cheltenham bumper. It just seems to me that he's a proper galloper that's just going to keep going. I think the further he goes, the better he's going to be. And Willie Mullins obviously won the Albert Bartlett last season. I think he's got a great chance in it again this season. If this is the route he takes with Sortudo, and he's just one of these horses, he's 25-1 at the moment. Your philosophy, could he be a third of the price on the day? He definitely could, couldn't
absolutely,
he?
yeah.
And he's one that I liked him in bumpers last season. He probably wasn't as sexy as some of the bumper performers from Willie Mullins' stable last year, but I think he's really good. So I'm going to go with Sortudo, who's the first member of my festival squad for the 2026 Cheltenham Festival at 25-1. Right, Johnny, you're up.
No, I actually fancied Sortudo myself. I was going to
Did
use
you?
that at some stage, yeah.
Were you?
You're after short-heading me now. Yeah. So look, yeah, I agree with you. I think there's only one race you can go for, and it's the Albert Bartlett. It's just kind of what you'd kind of like in these, if you're picking a horse. I'm going to go for one in the Turners. I'm going to chance Dr. Deminil. I like Dr. Deminil.
You love this horse.
Yeah, I have a feeling that he's a good horse.
14-1 Bet365, Dr. Deminil.
Yeah, I have a feeling that he's a smart horse.
What did you like about him at Cork?
I just like, you don't normally see horses win like with a wow factor in bumpers and Cork. They're rarely, if ever, you'd see a real top horse down there. But you just got that feeling that day that he won that race like really impressively, and he beat the devil, who has franked the form already this season. Like, he won did he win 13 or 14 innings without even moving? Jody Townend rode it. Look, it was well backed as well. It wasn't as if it was an accident or anything like that. So I just have a feeling that he is a very, very good horse. I think they'll have enough ammunition for the 2 mile, and I think it'll be too classy for the Albert Bartlett. So it's the intermediate race. I'm going to chance him for the Turners.
And interesting in Willie Mullins' pull-out stable tour in Monday's Racing Post, I asked him for 2 for the tracker in that section, and without hesitation, the first horse he said was Dr. Deminil. You didn't know that either when you were picking it.
No, I didn't actually know, but I don't know. I just think I might be all wrong. We'll know anyway soon enough, won't we?
Well, we'll know in March, I suppose.
Well, you'll know before that how you're fixed at the same time. You wouldn't want to get beat first Papa there, would you?
No. What was your Albert Bartlett fancy last year? Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. It was a kind of a cliff horse for me.
Yeah, he was,
Oh, he turned out no good after. No. Sounds victorious.
Sounds victorious, yeah.
Well, Sortudo is in the same bracket for me.
Well, he's going to be disappointing.
Yeah, the only thing Sounds victorious did actually run in it.
Yeah, that's true.
Well done. Probably a bigger price than he was, and I put him up. Maybe about 25-1 or something like that. But I think he was probably 33-1 in the day or whatever.
So Dr. Deminil, you think could just be the real deal?
Yeah, I just look. You're open to a lot of horses that could absolutely maybe be in that category, but I just think he's a smart. Look, if you're going for a horse at this stage, Ante-Post, I think you want to go with Mullins, and you want to go with hopefully the one Townend's on.
There you go.
If you can land on them, you're in business.
And hopefully we both have landed on them. So for Johnny, it's Dr. Deminil in the Turner's Novice Hurdle at 14-1 Bet365, and I like Sortudo at 25-1 for the Albert Bartlett. So those are the 2 first positions filled on our festival squads. And finally, let's hear Johnny's joke of the week. This is a section that scares the living daylights out of me because Johnny has free reign to do what he likes. It can be a joke, make us laugh. It can be a rant. It can be a story. It can be a tale from the betting ring. Johnny, the floor is yours. You can do whatever the hell you like.
I have a few rants, but I have to keep them for other weeks because I'm only going to use one per week in here. But
How strongly do you feel about this one?
This is a little story.
Oh, story.
It's a gambling story now. It's a good story. I think it's a good story. I think you'll
Well, we'll be the judge of that, Johnny.
Yeah, okay. But anyway, priest, Irish priest, good character. Likes the bet, likes a sup as well. Thirsty priest in here, right? And likes the bet. Good character now. Great man. And he's still alive, actually. Met him in Tramore, actually, this year. I won't say who he has. But anyway, he's at home one day watching Ascot, right, of a Saturday. And he's had his few quid on this favourite in a 2.5 mile novice chase anyway. So the race starts anyway, and he's coming round the bend the first time, going by the win line anyway. Everybody's going according to plan anyway. Next thing the doorbell rings. Bad timing now. It means bad timing. So he goes out and he's a little pull at the curtain. He looks out. It's local woman Mary, just lost her husband Willie. She's here for the funeral arrangements. You know what I mean? So he's there, geez, desperate bad timing now, Mary. You know what I mean? So he pulls back the thing and says, I'll ignore her for a while. He said, she'll be back in a few minutes. See? So they were over by Swinley Bonnet Pass about 7 minutes ago. Mary's on the buzzer again. She's not going. The car's outside. She knows he's inside. So she's not for moving anyway. So the next thing anyway, he says, geez, I'll have to leave her in anyway. So he presses this thing in. Mary, he says, how are you? Who's there? He pretended he didn't know. Oh, this is Mary. Oh, Mary, come in. He says, I'm in the front room. Come in, you know the room. So all the local women didn't know where the priest was in the room. And so he buzzed her in anyway, didn't she? Came in here. So the television was right in front of him, up against the wall. She came in the door approaching him. And they were turning in now at this stage. He was about 5 in front. So he's big unit of a man now. So oh, Mary. So he grabbed her like this, you know, and watched the telly at the same time. So he was hugging her, and, oh, Mary, I'm so sorry. And the next thing, when the horses come to the last, he gave her a little tip on the to get him out over it. So they're coming down to the last anyway, and this yoke is only 2.5 in front now, and there's going to be trouble. So he needs a good one. So next thing, he's still banging. Great jump from Mary anyway. The other yoke fell anyway, the one that was chasing it. So he pulled her back and he says, Mary, that's grand now. He says, what I'll do, I'll make you a cup of tea. He says, there's the remote, turn off that rubbish in the television. But I just feel it's a great story about like that, how human beings, a priest can be human beings as well. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like Willie wasn't going to make much difference to Willie at this stage anyway, you know what I mean? So I think it's a great story, yeah.
Great story. There you go. That's Johnny's Joke of the Week. And that's it, folks. That's it for episode 1 in the brand new series of Upping The Ante. And don't forget, it's safer gambling week. And as Johnny said earlier on in the show, keep that point in mind and only bet what you can afford to lose. So, Johnny, what's the plans for the week?
Yeah, I don't think I've anything on really. We're not into the Santa stuff yet, really. I think it's the following week we're going to see him.
Yeah.
And then then the build up to Christmas. But I'd say this weekend for me will be watch the sport. It's good sport in the winter, isn't there? Normally,
there is great sport, yeah.
Like between soccer and horses, rugby, you could nearly watch it all day long, couldn't you?
Is there any sport you don't like watching?
I don't watch tennis anymore. Too long. Like
Too long?
5 hours game's a joke. I mean, you start watching it 2, you shouldn't be still watching it at 7. Okay. I couldn't watch tennis anymore anyway. I watch most sports now. There's very few sports.
Darts? Yeah.
I'd watch darts, yeah.
Cricket?
I don't understand cricket really. You know what I mean? I wouldn't put anyone off it, but it wouldn't be a sport I'd watch.
What about American football?
I'd watch it, but I wouldn't be like, you know, I've never been to American football. I wouldn't mind going to see a game, maybe, like, you know, in America, like whatever. But not like the ones over here.
Oh, sorry,
yeah,
okay.
You know, they bring them to Dublin or London.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that wouldn't be. But I'd like to go to America, maybe go to match or something. But no,
We'll see what we can do. We'll see if we can get a viewer to bring you over.
Yeah. I'd watch it again. I would watch it. I love golf. I love watching golf. Golf to me is the purest sport of them all. You know what I mean? What you're watching is real, really real. Yeah. That's what I like about the golf. Like the guys that play it are millionaires. They're not playing for the money or anything. It's just pure raw ability, really. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Will the Couch to 5K start? It could. You never know. It could start in the next 7 days.
I'll have to fit it in. It'll have to be at times it'll suit me at the same time. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You know, I couldn't interfere with anything that's pleasurable anyway.
No. Oi.
That includes eating.
That's a different fitness regime, isn't it, Johnny?
Yeah.
There we go. So that's it for episode 1 of Upping The Ante. We, of course, will be back with you every single Tuesday from now until the Cheltenham Festival at 6 o'clock. But until next week, I've been David Jennings. He's been Johnny Dineen. Thanks for watching. Upping The Ante. We're back.